Midnight in Bangkok's warehouse district. The city that never sleeps is eerily quiet here, the silence broken only by the occasional distant hum of traffic. Diesel fumes, stagnant water, and tension fill the air. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, every shadow a potential threat. In an unmarked van, Thai anti-narcotics officers watch a row of shipping containers, waiting for a sign. Their eyes are trained, their senses heightened. The tip-off came from the DEA, a shipment of industrial solvents from China, likely destined for meth labs. The paperwork seems legitimate, but the officers know better. This isn't routine. The officers know this shipment could fuel a regional drug crisis. They've prepared meticulously, knowing the stakes are incredibly high. The manifest says the chemicals are for a local factory, but intelligence points north, to the lawless Myanmar border. A route fraught with danger and deception. Every passing truck spikes their adrenaline. Each vehicle could be the one they're waiting for, the one carrying the illicit cargo. The syndicates they're up against are global, sophisticated, and ruthless. These aren't small-time criminals. They're part of a vast, well-oiled machine. If they act too soon, the chemicals vanish. Timing is everything, and the officers are acutely aware of the delicate balance they must maintain. If they wait, they might finally expose the supply chain. A flatbed truck arrives, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Figures load barrels quickly, working in near silence. Every movement is calculated, every second counts. The officers don't move in. The plan is to follow, not bust. Track the shipment to its true destination. Patience is their greatest weapon tonight. They need proof. A direct link from Chinese exports to Myanmar's jungle drug labs. The truck's engine roars to life, signaling the start of a high-stakes pursuit. The officers tail it north, into the heart of the Golden Triangle's shadow war. The road ahead is long and perilous. Tonight, they're not just intercepting chemicals, they're chasing the origins of a regional meth epidemic. Each step brings them closer to dismantling a deadly network. The journey ahead is dangerous, but it's the only way to expose the syndicate's deadly network. The officers steel themselves, ready for whatever comes next. The real battle is just beginning. The chase is on, and the officers are prepared to see it through to the end. The crisis doesn't begin in the jungle or a remote border town. It starts thousands of miles away, inside China's sprawling high-tech chemical plants. These facilities, with their endless rows of pipes and smokestacks, are the beating heart of a global industry. Every day, these factories churn out millions of tons of chemicals for everything from medicine to electronics. But hidden among the legitimate products are key precursors, substances like pseudoephedrine and ephedrine, which can be diverted for illegal drug production. Criminal syndicates have become experts at exploiting loopholes in the system. They set up front companies, forge business relationships, and use flawless paperwork to order dual-use chemicals that can pass for legal shipments. Shipments are cleverly split, routed through multiple ports, and hidden among thousands of tons of legitimate cargo. Each step is designed to avoid suspicion and throw off investigators. In a country with such a massive chemical industry, illicit shipments are just drops in a vast ocean of commerce, nearly impossible to spot without inside information. Barrels are loaded onto ships in major ports like Shanghai or Guangzhou, then quietly dispatched to Southeast Asia, blending in with countless other containers. Thailand's Liam Chabang port is a bustling gateway, receiving thousands of containers every day. Customs officials face an overwhelming task. There's simply no way to check every shipment. Syndicates take advantage, hiding chemicals among legal goods, confident that most containers will slip through undetected, lost in the sheer volume of trade. The shipment tracked by Thai officers is just one of many. On paper, everything appears above board. Manifests, invoices, and shipping documents all seem legitimate. But a tip from the DEA reveals the hidden reality. This is only the first step in a deadly supply chain that stretches across continents. Here, legal products are about to begin their transformation, crossing the line from everyday chemicals to illegal poison destined for the black market. The real journey is only beginning, one that will have consequences far beyond the port, reaching deep into communities around the world. The truck never stops at the listed factory. Instead, it glides past the gates under the cover of darkness, its headlights briefly illuminating the sign before vanishing into the night. This is the first sign that something is amiss. Instead, it heads north, confirming the officer's suspicions. The journey takes the truck deeper into the countryside, away from prying eyes and official checkpoints. The driver blends in, obeying every law, making the journey seem routine. To any casual observer, it's just another delivery, nothing out of the ordinary. Officers follow at a distance, careful not to be detected. Their unmarked car keeps just far enough back, maintaining a delicate balance between surveillance and secrecy. This route leads to the Golden Triangle, Southeast Asia's notorious drug heartland. For decades, this region has been a crossroads for illicit trade, its remote borders perfect for smuggling. The syndicate's patience is clear, every move is calculated. Their operations are built on trust, secrecy, and a deep knowledge of the land. As the truck nears Chiang Rai, the landscape shifts to hills and jungle, syndicate territory. The roads become narrower, the forest thicker, and the sense of danger grows. The final handoff happens at a secluded compound. Hidden from view, it's the perfect place for a covert exchange. Barrels are transferred to smaller pickups. Each container is handled with care, as if the workers know the true value of their cargo. Local networks take over, ready to cross the porous border into Myanmar. These drivers know every back road and hidden trail. The chemicals have traveled from Chinese factories, through Thai ports and upcountry, hidden in plain sight. Each step in the journey is designed to avoid suspicion and evade law enforcement. Now, they're just a short drive from the jungle labs. Here, deep in the forest, the real transformation begins. The officers have traced the route, but the real challenge lies ahead. Stopping the flow here, at the edge of the lawless border, is a daunting task. The border is lawless, and the syndicate's power only grows. Here, the rules are written by those who control the trade. The chemicals are about to disappear into the shadows, vanishing into a world where few outsiders dare to follow. Once across the border into Myanmar's Shan state, the chemicals enter a world ruled by warlords, not governments. These territories are narco-states, protected by militias, financed by drugs. Warlords offer sanctuary for industrial-scale meth production, shielded from law enforcement. The United Nations calls this the world's largest meth hub. Hidden jungle compounds receive the chemicals, guarded by armed men. The infrastructure is shockingly advanced. Roads, communications, and a system built on fear and loyalty. For locals, working for the labs is often the only way to survive. The arrival of chemicals signals a new production cycle, millions in profits, and a fresh wave of drugs. The jungle isn't just a hideout, it's the engine room of a global criminal empire. Deep in Shan State, the chemicals reach superlabs, industrial facilities, not backyard operations. These labs can produce hundreds of kilos of meth in a single run. Syndicates bring in expert chemists from abroad to maximize yield and purity. The process is toxic, with waste dumped into rivers, poisoning the environment. Industrial pill presses churn out thousands of yaba tablets per hour, stamped with logos for branding. Purified crystal meth is set aside for lucrative overseas markets. Each stage is compartmentalized. Cooks, pressers, and couriers rarely meet. This structure protects the syndicate if one link is broken. The scale is staggering. Millions of pills a week, flooding the region. The meth trade has become a dark, efficient industry. With meth produced, the supply chain reverses. Now the drugs flow south. Thailand is the main transit route, its borders as porous as ever. Smugglers, mules, carry drugs on foot, by boat, or hidden in vehicles. Shipments are broken up, concealed among legal goods, and moved through safe houses. Syndicates use spotters to avoid law enforcement, exploiting the vast, unpatrolled border. From border provinces, drugs head to Bangkok, then out to the world, by sea, by truck, by any means. Seizures of millions of pills are now routine, but most shipments get through. Authorities are overwhelmed, fighting a relentless flood. The meth tsunami shows no sign of receding. The meth tsunami is real. Industrial-scale production has made the drug cheap and everywhere. In cities across Asia-Pacific, yaba pills sell for just a few dollars. Addiction rates soar, overwhelming health systems and fueling crime. Families are torn apart, communities unravel under the weight of addiction and violence. Law enforcement is outmatched. Seizures barely dent the supply. Syndicates deliberately keep prices low to expand their market, creating more addicts. The crisis destabilizes entire countries, empowering criminal organizations and corrupting officials. Drug profits fund other crimes, from human trafficking to illegal gambling. This isn't just a drug problem, it's a security crisis threatening the region's stability. The shadow economy rivals the legitimate one in power and influence. The social fabric is fraying. Behind the numbers are shattered lives. In rural villages, the drug trade is a lifeline and a trap. Young people become mules or addicts, families live in fear. In cities, parents spend everything on rehab, only to watch their children relapse. Hospitals are overwhelmed by meth-induced psychosis. Social workers and prisons are stretched to breaking. Public services buckle under the epidemic, draining resources from education and development. Crime rises, trust in authorities collapses, and communities feel abandoned. The fear is real. People are afraid to walk their own streets. The meth crisis erodes hope, security, and the future. It's not just individual tragedy, it's a collective loss. The siege is everywhere, and the cost is incalculable. As of November 12, 2025, the meth crisis is a systemic threat to Asia-Pacific. Seizing drugs and arresting mules isn't working. The syndicates adapt faster than authorities. The real sources, Chinese chemical factories and Myanmar's lawless jungles, remain untouched. Without China's cooperation and action against precursor diversion, the flow won't stop. As long as Shan State is a sanctuary, industrial-scale production will continue. The stakes, a generation lost to addiction, crime, and corruption. The region's stability and future are on the line. The story of one shipment is a window into a global criminal machine. The fight requires international resolve, targeting syndicates from boardrooms to jungle labs. Without unity, the river of meth will keep rising, and so will the human cost.